Okay. It's the same, like, oh, okay. All right. Ooh, okay. Hey, hello. How are you?
Hey, Paul.
How's everything?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, I got a little busy today, but yeah. How are things?
That's okay. I got crazy with work stuff too, so totally get it.
Yeah, but I was wondering if you had a chance to take a look at the ones I sent you. Those ones, just like do it on your own time. We're not doing those today.
I did not have a chance. I'm sorry. I actually just shut down my work computer and plugged this one in, and
Okay.
I barely had 5 minutes. So I did open this site, but again, I haven't had any chance to
Oh, okay.
review.
Okay. Let's. I just wanted to like show you some resources that will like hopefully help you, in your data science adventure, Because a lot of these are, like everyone uses a lot of these databases, pretty common in the industry. So the one which is really funny because you're taking this class in UCI, right?
Yes.
So the thing is that with UCI they have this repository that a lot of everyone actually I mean it's not just in California, but I feel like because this is free, you don't have to do any registration. But what these are like, like your professors, well, gave you guys some databases, right?
Yeah.
And there's even a banking right here. So if you go to this website, I think I sent this one to you.
You did. Yeah.
And then like any of these data sets, like there's some highlighted ones, but if you go over here, you could get like a lot of them. And then there's some whatever data type you want. Some of these will make sense, but for now, if we're gonna, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create that that lesson that for you this week that will be kind of like a concise version of the lessons you guys were talking about in pandas. Because
Okay.
I feel like that one doesn't really explain like, because usually if you look at my lessons, it explains in words like some theory, at least some useful, like not a lot of technical jargon, but like some practical things that you can
That would
take
be
away.
great. That would be great. Because yeah, it's I'm just getting, and I won't even say I've got Python handled at all, but I'm just getting my feet wet with it and then going into pandas. And I think we talked last time just a little bit.
Yeah.
We were focused, then we got focused on the homework. So I feel like I'm in a whirlwind here. So
Oh yeah. Usually like it's good. We're talking about the how was the homework by the way? The
you know what? It's I I got so lost with my so-called solution, math solution. All the
were you able to
debugging.
turn it in though? Like you turned it in, like that was the
I did. I turned it all in.
okay,
So
good.
yeah, it turned out fine. And just going through and debugging the little things did help, but it's really those calculations and how to set them up in the best format. And
Mm.
I was just getting lost. And so that's why I needed to look at yours, because I was
That's
going down
good.
a rabbit hole.
I think like for now, yeah, like the solutions, I guess for this next one, yeah, like it's fine because eventually you're gonna. It's really tough, I know, like especially like how it's so succinct. Like everything is like kind of like scrunched down into. It could this class could be like Python could be like 6 months long, but instead it's like 5 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly. I think I went the wrong route, but
no,
I'm
that's
in it
good.
now.
But yeah, like if you take because like there's a bunch of takeaways if you use like some of your code and then my code, what I want to happen is for you to I guess understand the flow like the generality is like understanding the flow of the code. Maybe
Right.
not every because everyone even I wanted so I showed you this right that this is
Yeah.
just like a bunch of databases like if just to finish this off. But when you click some of these, you get like sample databases. So there's like .csv here, like
Okay.
so. All of that is like in here, which would be good if you wanted to practice. Uh,
Okay.
like where are you getting these guys? And then some of these are in zip files, but just try to see if there's like CSV files. Anyways, like, well, for any coder, even I like you definitely have to like look at documentation, like for different types of modules. Like this guy's for pandas. So this one I didn't send you, I think,
I
but
don't remember that one. Yeah.
you could easily just Google these guys. Like you could say Python, whatever module you're working on, and then documentation
Okay.
for anything. This could be like for anything that we've imported so far, pandas, NumPy, any of those guys.
Okay. Perfect.
And like with pandas, everyone uses these, so there's so many. Like that's one of the nicest things about like Python is each one. It's kind of like a Lego, like it's just building blocks. Like one guy can be working on like a different project of a Lego, like a dinosaur, and then all of that is their project. And then you put it in like a field, like a build, like maybe once you're done with that like structure, you just put it in your like town. It's kind of like that, which is the Jupyter notebook or like a Python environment. So all of these guys, you've probably seen some of these, like some of these commands. These are commands like df.column or
Yeah, he started going into DF. Yeah.
yeah. This data frame, this is like df in a sense. Like that's not so you could write df, but the main thing is like ilock. I think I saw this in one of your the lessons.
That was Monday night. He started getting into that, and that's when a lot of us started getting lost because he was going so fast.
Yeah, I think he feels the pressure as well.
Yeah.
Like he feels like this is a funnel. He's just pushing everything. You guys have to have this, and I have to finish this today, kind of deal.
Yeah, my God, we were like slacking each other, going, What did you type?"
But like yeah, like if you were to go back to like all the things, this is the whole thing. If what because like you'll never master each one of these. Someone will show it to you, and then you have to go back and see what the heck it is. So if you take a look at this, you click on this guy,
Okay.
and then you look at like what can you use in here, like what does it do, and it tells you some examples, which is nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it tells you right here how to use it, like iLock, DF iLock right here, and so you can even just copy these, directly from here to your Jupyter notebook. So it's really nice, and then like I guess yeah, like it takes a lot of what I'm trying to say is as you progress, you will learn them as you go, but not everything now. Like he'll give you a lot of like the lessons, and then when you finally need it, like for a homework project, uh, then you just go back here and see what you can fit, debug it, and say, oh, okay. Some of these actually, I don't know. Yeah, this one tells you like if there's an error, like what types of error, and maybe you can go back here not only to use it, but how to avoid the errors.
Oh.
That's why everyone does that. Like no one will write code like blindly, if you're like super good, like, but then when you see someone like your professor, or someone else like lecture about it, um, for the most part, no one does live code as well. Like that's why they always like write it in Jupyter Notebook and then, talk about it while they're like just like inputting things,
Yeah.
because like yeah, like no one does that. Like everyone has to look at a documentation while they're writing the code, because you'll never know once. And then the basic stuff, it's like a progression from like a beginner. Like in the beginning, you learn variables, which we talked about loops and if else statements. But in the end, you build it, you refine it, and then it's a loop where you look at this. It's like, oh, this is what I can use. This is what you're always like improving. So yeah, those are pretty much like for data science, you'll want to have your resources. You want to have your Panda like ammo here, all the different commands.
Okay.
And yeah, that's just me like just telling you some resources. What did you want to do today?
I actually wouldn't mind going over some of the day one
Okay.
lesson and then into day two. Because I think tonight is uh, more
More of those?
more pandas, but I don't know what parts of it. I didn't I have a chance to read what's happening tonight, but and then I think there's like is it maplib or matplot or
Matplotlib? Matplotlib?
yeah, and I think that's Saturday.
Oh,
So
you guys are doing that. Okay. There's another one called what's it called? Seaborn. Seaborn is also another one for it. Seaborn is kind of like Matplotlib. There's a bunch of them. Do you wanna like? I think it's more effective if I guide you. Like if you're doing it.
sure.
Let me stop sharing.
Okay. Um,
So it seems like you guys are doing like one. Like last Saturday, you started with pandas, right? Oh no. Can you hear me? Hmm. Okay, let's look at this one. Let's see. I see unique in the land. Hmm. I see. Good deal. So, hello? Can you hear me?
I can. I don't know what it's the sharing screen or something.
Yeah, something always happens. It's okay though.
Yeah, it's weird
You're
because it
here
doesn't
now.
happen in class. I know it's just
Yeah.
strange. I don't know if it's just like a bandwidth thing, everybody's on right now or what, but
Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
oh my God.
I love it. Can you still hear me? Oh no. For the first email, and then the first email and put that together. My goodness. that CSV, right? Book that CSV. Oh my goodness. Let's see, reading CSV. No, I want to read this in a Excel or in a notepad. We know it's an isolated timeline code. That's an header or not. So that's what you do. Hello? Oh man.
Okay. I'm not touching anything. I'm not opening anything.
Okay. I guess did you just want me to share this time?
Yeah, if that's, yeah, for today, let's do that. I don't know if there's like a power surge in the area or what.
Okay. I guess I'll just talk about it. What would be clear if I actually like concise these into like layman's terms, you know?
Yeah, perfect.
But I guess talking about it again, like just like you know, a bit like apart from the professor talking about it is better because like ask me like if there's things like which one did you want to talk about? Like there's this column manipulation one. If there's a bunch of these ones. This is like the first one.
First one, let's do the data functions because functions always.
Okay, this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you know how this one I guess like so you get this part right, the pandas.pd.
And that's always the first thing, right? And
Yeah, it's always the first thing you do. Like especially if you want to give it an alias, like because when you're importing it, that means like everything in it that you know pd dot. That means everything in read CSV is going to be used if you import it. If you don't import it, you're going to get like an import error, like import module error. And then like why you use PD here, it really is up to you because like you could technically just do this one, right? You could just do that. But then when you run it, like when you run this guy, you're gonna get like, oh, what is this PD? It's,
yeah.
So that's how like people usually like, okay, you could even put like whatever you want, PE, and this can be like, you can change this guy. So it works. It doesn't have to be PD.
Okay.
And like this one, like we kind of we technically kind of like looked at this in the homework, right? In the previous homework.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then, yeah, so we have to, as soon as the pandas are imported, or then we need to create a path for the CSV file.
Yeah, that's like
Okay.
the very first thing. Like in I guess in data science they call this like pre-processing, like getting your data so that you can do some calculations to it.
Okay.
And then for the most part, sometimes it's good to do this, because then you can keep it general. You could easily just like put this exact thing in here, which is what I did in our homework.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, you don't need to create another like file name, but you have the folder, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously where the file is, or you could just put this file in the same place as this guy, and then you don't need this first part.
So I don't necessarily need a folder. It's just how he set everything up.
Yeah. So like it's like any like if you have a folder, you have to do this like folder name backslash and then whatever the file name is. And if
Okay.
it's like within subfolders, you keep on doing that.
Okay.
And what about this dot head?
The dot head, is that always the header row? Is that
Yeah.
referring to that?
So like if you did this dot head, it's pretty much what's shown right now. It's like the very first five, one, two, yeah, five like rows.
Mm.
I think you could easily put like maybe three here. Yeah, you could. So the default one, if you did this, is like you get five. If you wanted like more, you could put like a number here.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's always like from the beginning. Like it's like a head, header from the beginning.
From the beginning. Okay.
Yeah. And then if you wanted to do tail's like from the end. Like see, like you could see from this guy the index.
Oh, he didn't teach us that. Okay.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's like different ways. Like say, like if you increase the number, you just play around with it. Like we call it playing around with the program, seeing what does it do, you know? Like it's like you can actually put something in here. How many things are in here? It's like and see like if you put more than like what you can fit in your page, like it does this thing.
Okay. Okay.
But for the most part, people just use like the no argument version because they just want to see. I mean, once you edit it, like they're all gonna be the same, right? Like obviously, like how
Yeah.
you edit. But you just want to see if something worked. So that's what that is. This manipulating. For this one, it's just not really manipulating. Let me rephrase that. Like this is just looking at it at a different way, and then there's sorting, right? You guys talk about sorting data frames, filtering.
Um, oh
I,
gosh. I
do you
think
remember?
we did, but I don't remember what that
Yeah,
function was.
because like there's different like ways, like to categorize like what you're doing in pandas is just reading data commands. This is what we're doing right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're reading, and then there's data sorting. Uh, so and then there's data manipulation. That's when you add like columns or rows, which is very complicated. That's the one with the iLock and lock stuff.
Oh, okay. That's why I was so lost.
Yeah, that one, yeah, it does get complicated because you have to see like if you remember in Excel, you can certainly do the same things, right? Like you can move things, but it's more tactile or tactile in a sense. It's like you move it and it's not like a code in Python. You can actually do all of that and then other things,
Mm,
but it's just very like you have to write code language just to make something work.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so that's head and tail. What
Okay.
about this guy? Dot describe.
I display a statistical overview of the data frame. So, like what the numbers mean.
Yeah,
So, describing well, I guess statistics, since that's the umbrella it's under, then grabbing all the statistics that I'm not sure how they're defined though. Is it the panda that would grab that count mean standard minimum maximum, or is there somewhere else that was already
Um,
there?
so like for that, maybe we could take a look at this. Like, so that's a good question, right? Like, what does that describe do, right?
Yeah.
So like you could let's see if we can find what that is. Oh, it's right here.
Oh,
It's right here.
I
So
spelled that wrong.
so this is it. Pandas data frame that describe. So generate descriptive statistics, and
Oh,
there's another way besides this one. I'll show you. I think from in Jupyter Notebook you can actually access this. So it tells you dot count. You could do dot max. These are other ones that you could do besides dot describe. But yeah, like
okay.
sometimes, yeah, like when you go back to it, say as I remember this one, it just gives you a lot of these guys, statistics about each one of your, each one of these guys. Let me see
Okay.
this. Oh, I think it's just telling you this amount. I think, yeah.
Okay.
For the amount, it gives you the mean. I don't know about this ID one. Oh no, the ID one is just the number. I see. So this ID gives you the mean of this column right here. It, it's
Oh,
hard to do. It's hard to do like statistics and strings, right?
yes, it is. It is. So I can see there are 1,000 participants, or whatever so that makes the total count. The mean, of course, is 500.
Yeah. And then
Standard. Okay.
so that's what it does. Like every time it sees like a number, numerical like column, it does the statistics on that. You could easily do that in Excel, right? You could just like do
Yeah.
like I think average, and then you can copy, well not copy, but like go through the first row and go all the way down, and then put that inside the parentheses. But this is already built in. Someone already did that work for you.
Nice.
Okay, so that's that. And then what about this one? What's happening in this one?
Okay, reference a single column within a data frame. So single column, the amount. Single column within a data frame. Well, we have ID and amount. So we're looking at the second column and starting at the top. And then I guess starting from the beginnings, we start with the first row,
Oh,
first column. Is that?
let me print something here. I think it'll be easier to see. This is always a thing. Like you always want to know like what is what is it doing. So the one thing I do is I always hit like this guy. Let's just go with this guy. And when you want to minimize that, so you have this guy here.
Okay, we're starting at the top. The first, whoever,
Yeah,
Todd.
here you go.
And okay, so it's just grabbing the top 10 results of the second column on the
Yeah.
column. Okay.
So like whatever you put in here, that's what it's grabbing. Like it will like filter out. This is what we call filtering. This is like one of those commands that filter it. Like you don't care to look at first name, last name. These are like not numerical, right?
Right.
Well, most of the data you're probably gonna do calculations on is this amount. If you wanted to do like this guy, change this. Let's see if this works. First name. Here we go. First name.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then maybe last name. Last name is the other one.
So, and they always have to be in the square brackets, right? This is
Yeah.
okay.
So like these a lot of the Pythonic way, it is still code, but it's easier to like it's like always the small things, right? Like learning the syntax. Yeah, it has to be bracketed this way.
I'm getting confused between when to use the curly bracket and the square.
Oh,
And when we get to that point, because also his screen is so small, and I think some
yes,
of
yes.
that's my issues too. It's like not seeing what he's typing. So
Yeah.
kind of knowing where to do that would help too. Okay.
Okay. So for the most part, the reason why you use brackets here is because this is a list. Yeah, like if I really wanted us to go over lesson 2.
Yeah.
The lesson 2 stuff that I wrote, it has like what is the different types of lists. if since this is a list, you have this brackets because and this is like indexing a list. So you have this is the list, right? The data frame.
Yep. Yep.
And and then
Okay.
when you index, this is the concept. When you index or it's like slicing a list. It's the same as filtering a data frame. Is you're slicing this data frame list. That's why you use this brackets. If
Okay.
the only time you use like curly braces if you had a dictionary, uh, which is like I think for data frames that only comes up when you're changing the name of the column, like or like when you're actually defining the database. And then like when you're using this parentheses, it's usually for functions, like different functions, you know, like then you know that it's a parentheses because it's a function, it's like a method, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And then it even gets more complicated. Like so there's a double bracket here, right? Like why are you doing this?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Why?
So for if you want to just do one, if you want to just do one, like filter, like it's pretty much like directly at, like it's an extension of this guy. So you know how like this one shows you one thing only.
Uh-huh.
If you wanted to do multiple things and then show like maybe the amount or I guess the last name in this case is like gender. Let's just mess around with this. So first name, like that guy.
Mm.
So like whatever you put inside this thing is gonna be two things. I wanna
Uh,
see I wanna see if you can do like just one. You could technically just put one in here. It doesn't matter.
oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the same as this guy. Like there's some differences. There's some differences, right? Look at it. There's a difference between this. Obviously, like the way this is like displayed is different from this guy.
Yeah, now why is that? Let me see here. Data file df dot head and then data file df dot head. So it's this essentially.
It's the same. It's just the display. There's some like for me, I like how this looks. Like this is more like the data frame look. But
Yeah.
this I don't really like how this looks. This is like just your ordinary list in Python. This is how it looks usually. But like I said, there's like multiple things. Like you could do it this way or you could do it this way.
But see, what's the difference? They don't look besides the double brackets that you're putting in, the
Yeah,
output, like why does it look different between those two?
it looks different because this is a the way they coded this. Because this one, like I said, like this is like the Python list. It's like a list. This
Uh,
one isn't a list anymore. It's a matrix. Have you heard of that word before? Matrix.
Matrix. Well, besides the movie, no.
Yeah, I know. Everyone always goes by. Yeah, there is some. Yeah, that is coding, right? They're coding in the matrix.
Yeah.
So a matrix in essence is like a 2D list. So this is a 1D list, right? This it's like that's why you're only doing this once. There's only one thing here. There's nothing else. This one says, give me this guy 1D and then another guy. You can do more than two. You don't have to. You're not stuck with like two. That's why I like this other one better.
Mm-hmm.
Because like yeah, see like this is way more versatile. I would not even put this in your collection of like functions. I would
Okay.
just do this guy.
Yeah. No,
This is
it's nicer.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what you do, and then of course you can apply what you already learned. You could put tail here. See, like I always build it like that. You learn like different things and you just stack it. So that's like your
Okay.
scale right here. Okay. What about this next one?
Okay, so the mean method averages the series. So we're just taking the mean or statistics of the amount column.
Yeah. So this one right here, what happened? This one right here, just pretty much, it's just like everything that you can. Do you remember that describe thing?
Yes, yeah.
Like each one of these, they're doing that. This is just a summary, but each one of these you can easily just do it like by yourself. So like this number should match this other number, right? This guy.
Mm, yeah.
That's like one of those things like, oh, let me try to like confirm if it's true that what the describe function does. Eventually, like you know, right now we're using someone's functions, right? We're using someone's function. Um, if you want to be a super good programmer coder, you want to create your own.
Oh, okay.
So like you know what a mean does, right? You know how to calculate a mean of like a list of numbers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you,
Yeah.
if you look at lesson 3, my lesson 3, I talk about functions. Def, like you can create your own functions. So if you get to that point, that'll be good because like I do talk about like comparison, like creating your own function versus using someone else's function.
Okay.
But right now, it's good to like I always say like it's good to learn someone else's function first, understand how to use it really good, then make it your own in the end.
I find it interesting though, like on the next slide, like line 3,
Mm.
average, total, unique. You're not putting print average.
Oh,
That's a Python function.
oh,
Well,
like
this is Python, the pandas, but
it's a Jupyter thing. So I know what you're saying. So you know how like you don't have to put print, right? Like this guy, right? You don't have to do that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's the same thing. Sometimes for me, so that like I never do it this way, like where I ignore print. As you can see in my things, I never just like put it because this is the reason why people love using Jupyter Notebook, and it's really great because it's live. You know, we're not doing the terminal Python run this guy, right?
yeah.
We're, because that's one of those things you don't do that, and everything here you can ignore print. Print becomes obsolete in essence.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
But yeah, you know, like I like to stick to like you know the primitive because at least I know how to code it myself. I understand it because if you look at this, you don't know is this like something here? Like what is this? You know. So
Yeah,
for me,
I thought something was missing.
yeah. But as long you know, you gotta. That's why you always like to play around with it. Play around with it. It's like okay, I guess it's less writing for me if I don't put print. So
Okay.
okay, so yeah, different things. Some mean this unique thing. Did you get this one?
So it's pulling, yeah, it's pulling every name that's only appearing once. I'm assuming that within the database there are, I'm assuming these are last names, people
Yeah.
whose names are the same.
Pretty much. Let's just see if because amount should be different.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
because like they're all different in essence. Like it's just gonna pull in like the first one that's different. So last name. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I think what you could use this for is like maybe you can use this as a label. I think someone uses this as a label. Like you pull it in and then you use it as a label.
Label.
But
Okay.
I think that's the only one. Like I don't know what else you would use it for.
Okay.
Okay, what about this guy?
Value counts, method counts, unique values. So gender. So
So
unique.
this one's a good one actually. I mean, looking at the output, you can technically tell what it does, right?
Well, it counts whether it's male or female, but why would it be? Maybe I'm reading into the note too much. So it's
Okay.
really just counting gender, who you are or who you identify as.
So
But
there's 1,000 of these guys, right?
yeah,
Thousand of people, yeah, 1,000. I usually it's like well, okay, third, but like as you can see, it does count. It's like in Excel, there's that what is that one? Count. I think it is the same count
yeah.
function. Is it command, yeah, count if or something like that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, that one. Like it counts the number of strings that you see or whatever cell is not blank. In Excel, you count them. You could either discount the blank cells or only count the ones that have like values in them. In Python, it's this guy. Like you count what this is doing is you're counting the number of whatever is in gender, the unique ones. So there's only two unique ones, right? Male
Yeah.
and let's see, like if you wanted to experiment, what if you had what if you had to experiment like this guy right here? So this is kind of similar, right? Like you take the unique ones and you count them.
So it's taking the file above and then
Yeah.
parsing it further into, because they always have to look at what's above, because it's all one program or one project. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I guess 12 people named Robin, 12 or 11 Jose. So within that list above.
Yep. Like so that's really what it does is it's like it just counts like if you were to like apply it and then you wanted to say like in your list of like people, how many Robins are there? How many Randys, you know? So
Mhm.
you can answer that question now because you have that value counts. So like yeah, like it's just different things that people like created functions for. It's like, oh, maybe I'll use it somewhere. You're gonna use this, I think, many more times, and that's why you know this unique kind of is an application of this because then it count, you know, it looks at like these guys and it counts it. It
Okay.
enumerates the number of times they appear.
Okay.
Okay, what about this one? Uh,
A series added today brings thousands of dollars. Need a file
oh,
for.
okay. So this
Uh,
one is this is a manipulation. So the other ones were filtering, just like looking at your data, getting some stats from it, right? Like, but
yeah.
it's not really modifying anything. Like, you're just analyzing your data the way it was like presented. For the most part, that's good. But what you're gonna do with data science, you know, from now till later, is you're gonna use data to analyze it, right? Like
Hmm.
the reason why you're trying to collect data is so that you can do things to it. So you're gonna be adding columns to this somehow, and then this is like one of those very useful ones. Is so they did like a calculation here, right?
Thousands of dollars, grabbing the amount and then dividing by 1,000.
Yeah, each one of these guys, it's
Yeah.
doing
Okay.
whatever you put in here is like everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everything. Oh, shoot. It's like everything you did, like in here. And then
Interesting.
like, and you wanted to do this negative, no, like divided by 1,000. You could divide this by 100 if you wanted to. See what happens, you know?
Mm, sure. Okay.
And then like, you know, this can get complicated. This guy can definitely get complicated. They're just showing it to you. It's like, oh, you know, you can do some cool like math in this guy right here. And
So,
then
okay.
so like you know how like in which one was it the previous homework we kind of did something like the revenue stuff, right?
Yeah.
If
Kind
you were in that one, remember? It's all good. It's all good.
of.
You know how like initially you had two columns, right? I
Yep.
think it was whatever it was. Like you could start with two, and that's your raw data, and
Mm,
then that could be first name, last name. What if you wanted to add the average of each one, or like the addition, or something like that, something that useful for each stock or whatnot. You can easily just do the calculation for each row like this, like this. This is doing it for each row, uh, and then name it, put it in a variable. But then now I want to put it in a data frame. So how you do that is whatever whatever the variable is right here, you just make it equal that this guy, right? This is a syntax. Like after you do the calculation of this,
mm-hmm.
all of this now has everything here, right? But you want to put this thousands of dollars in the data frame as a column, right?
Right.
That's like the goal. How you do that is your data frame name, which is this guy, right? And then you do this thing, you know, you put brackets and you put the label inside, right? Which is this guy.
Yep. Yeah.
And then so what it's doing is like, okay, I'm creating a data frame label called thousands of dollars. Up to this point, it's still empty. And then you make it equal all the things that you did in here. So you populate it after that. So everything is here. Everything you did the calculation on now is inside this column.
Okay.
I mean, you could even do here. Why don't we just do ABC, you know, or let's do something else. It's always good to like emulate what happened, you know, like here we'll do this, and, you know, like that, right?
Minus 24. Okay.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, I'm like, what's that? What's
What is
going on here?
And this is something. Let's just name it the same thing.
Okay.
You know? And then make it equal that guy.
Okay.
Look, so that's the same thing, right? Like you just
Oh,
did this. This is how you test your thing, your knowledge, if you know what you're doing.
oh gosh. Okay. So you just labeled the column, whatever it was,
Yeah.
and then you just subtracted the amount by 24 and got
Yeah.
the solution there. Okay. Huh.
So yeah, like what you know, how I usually take like when a professor gives me like or whoever gives you like a set of things to like study for a code is I just try to emulate like what they did, and you know and the more you do it, the more you're gonna get. It's like, oh, like it's like acquired knowledge. It's like what for the most part, it's hard to like explain why you're doing something in code,
Mhm.
like certain things. Why do you have to do it this way? Why does this have to happen first? Why do you do this next? It's like
Yeah.
acquired. You're just doing it. Eventually, it's like, oh, I'm doing it because it's the way it is.
That is
Why?
the
It's like
way.
learning the syntax. The things that you can explain are, you know, all those like generality, the loops, creating functions. Okay, so that's for that.
Okay.
What about okay? Well, did you want to? Were some of these quite hard to understand? There's some nice ones. That this guy is good.
Yeah, let's look at column manipulation there.
Okay, okay. Let's just jump to like where the good stuff are. So what they did here. So you know, in the other one, they kind of did the same thing, I think. But like, there's two things, right? You could create your own CSV, which is like this guy,
Mm-hmm.
creating your own CSV, or you can just like import a few someone's CSV. So for this one, how you do that, I think we covered that kind of like last time. Is you can either create like a series or a data frame,
Mm-hmm.
and then the way I like doing it is I think let me see if this is the way they're doing it. Yeah, the way I like doing it is the way this guy did it. Is you have the column names here, column names.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a dictionary. You see this curly brace? There's a,
Okay.
there's a curly brace because this is a dictionary.
Curly brace dictionary. Okay.
And for a dictionary, if you refer back to I think my lesson 2 or 3, I kind of touch on those like just to understand why this is the case, like why this works and why you have to define a dictionary.
Okay.
Is whatever you put inside, you know, data frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna transfer whatever's in here into a Python data frame, right?
Yeah.
And then what to understand this is for a dictionary you have a key, which is all these guys on the left with a colon, and then you have a value, which is everything to the right of the colon. So
In value. Okay.
yeah, key and value, yeah. Key is left of colon, value is right of colon.
Rate of colon. Okay.
And then like I guess the syntax of this is just so all your keys. So if I say keys, you get what that is now, right? Like
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
So keys, every key. That's why I like doing this. Is every key. I think you should just stick to how this is defined because there's another way, but I'm not going to talk about that.
I'm assuming it's easier. So
This is the easiest way. Like this is the most intuitive. It's like the other way is like weird. Like that's why I don't like doing it that way. It's confusing. So all the keys are your what? They're your column labels.
column labels, headers. Yep.
Yeah. And all these values are what? Are your values for each row of the column, right?
Your cell content. Yep.
Yeah. So see the name, all of this is the same. Like it's very organized in a sense, not like the other one. So like this is just okay. You know, once you're creating this, you can picture in your mind, I want something like this. And once you apply PD data frame, put it inside there, you are gonna get this. So you know in your mind, once you're creating a dictionary like this, you wanted this. Once you apply PD data frame, it's this guy. So.
Okay.
And yeah, the head, you could just do tail as well, but that's what, like when you do this like head and tail, you usually do this to check. It's like printing something, like in a string or an operator. Everyone always does this. Like you never like not do this and just like, okay, I know exactly what it looks like without presenting it. But the head is like the print for data frames, the print command for data frames.
Print for data frames.
And then this one. So collecting a list of all columns within the data frame. So like when you say dot columns, you know, the name of your, so this data frame, training data frame, you do dot columns, right?
Yeah.
And dot columns, I mean, after you output it, it's pretty, like you looking at this, what is it showing you?
Yeah, it's the headers. Yeah, the column header.
Yeah. So that's what that is. It's just telling you what that function does. Okay, now, what if, for example, like, you know, in Excel, if you were to look at these different columns, sometimes there's like a better way of presenting a data, and maybe you want to put like weight first here, you know, reorganize how this looks.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what it's doing. You can actually move things around very easily. How you do that is, do you remember we did this double thing?
Oh yeah.
With filtering, we filtered it, right? Like we wanted to look at like let me see if I can go back to it just to compare. Do you remember this one?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so just to tell you the difference, look at this guy, right? Just look at this guy, okay? And then take a look at this guy now. Do you see a difference?
Double brackets. Did I miss that on the last one? Let's see here.
It's pretty much the same, yeah. I'm gonna
Okay.
take this guy out there, so and put data file. The tail. Okay, so like look at this guy first, and then look at this guy. It's the same, right?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Essentially, yeah.
The only difference in essence is, so this one, we didn't make this equal anything, right? There's no equal sign on the left of this guy.
Correct.
This one has an equal sign, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So in essence, when you look at this, it's the same as this guy, because that's how you're filtering it. You filter first, and then you make it, you assign it, and that's how you manipulate the column. So like, you know, this guy right here, if you just did it by itself, like here, maybe it's easier for me to. Let's take a look at this guy first. Training.df, or why don't we just. Oops. What happened there? Oh, I see. Oh, it's not defined. That's weird.
I was running into that a lot Monday night. I had to
Okay.
raise my hand.
Because here. Oh, I see.
You have to go all the way to the beginning and rerun everything. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Sometimes that happens that way. So like, anyways, when you do this, so you see this, like, it's the same as what it was before, right? You still had name, trainer, weight, and like membership days.
Mm-hmm.
Trainer, weight, okay. And then what you wanted to do, let me just compare that to this guy. Reorganizing the column. So trainer, weight. Oh, he didn't rename it yet, I see. I'm just trying to look at this. So he didn't rename it here. This is pretty much the same thing, right? This is pretty much the same thing as this guy, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah, he was, yeah, looks like it.
So that's why you really have to like, he should have explained something here. It says it's reorganizing the columns using double brackets, but you didn't reorganize it yet. You're just defining this new thing. And it's pretty much the same guy. So I guess in this next one, this is where he reorganizes it or rename it.
Okay. So that's just setting it up,
Yeah. Let me
the same file.
change the way this looks and like experiment. Usually, so like if you, because this is what I would think it does. So you know how like in the beginning you had name, trainer, weight, membership, right?
Yeah,
What I want to do is I want to reorganize them, which is what this is saying.
right.
This is reorganized, but nothing is being reorganized. So let me switch name and trainer.
Okay.
So that's now that right there is inside organized data frame. And then let's see what it does. There you go. That's what's supposed to happen.
Gotcha. Okay.
So all you have to do is switch this, whatever that like columns, name, string, column, label name, header, and then that should easily switch your columns, just like
Okay.
that. But the difference there is like you had to create another one. You don't have to really create it if you don't want to. You can just make it equal like, itself. You can make it equal itself. If for the most part, if you do that, because then you know that data you're doing is it's not sensitive to like you always want to like save your original data is what I'm saying. Because then the moment you do this, then now it's overwritten, right?
Oh, sure.
But then you can always make it, you can always go back. You can always change it back to the way it was. So like doing this, because that's what it, why does it do that? That's like really weird.
Does not accept Boolean. Boolean.
Training not in index.
But you're not doing a true or false, right? So.
Oh, I see. Trainer. There you go.
Oh, so picky.
And you see how much error like, it's shot at?
Yeah,
like,
that scares me when I see that. I'm like, what?
I don't read into the errors. Like you really, that's why I say like once you understand, like I never like read into like what, why is this so much? Which one am I doing? Don't freak out like that, Like just take a step back and it's like it's always something with like misspelling something. That's always the thing. Everyone always makes the mistake. So
Yeah.
anyways, what I was trying to say is like if you were to like reorganize this is just filtering. Like you doing this is just filtering. If you don't make it equal something, if you make it equal something and then you switch this around, then that's reorganizing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing, besides reorganizing, you could also rename, right? Obviously, like you could rename your labels, your headers. And this is why I was saying, like you have to use a curly brace.
But that's not a dictionary, is it? Oh, it is. It is.
It's a dictionary, yeah. In essence, like a lot of people get tripped with, they know what a list is, they know what like,
Yeah.
like was it list, tuple, and then a set? They know all of that. Or in essence, like tuple and a set are like lists. But when it comes to dictionary, you're like, what is that?
Yeah, exactly.
But what it is really, over time, you're gonna see like why it's being used. Like for this one, it's being used because you're associating column with row, right?
Mm-hmm.
With something. That's when you use a dictionary. Is when you have to categorize something. In this case, it's like for this key, I want it to be this value now. So for each key that was original, the original name, label, the value is the one I want to change it into, right?
Okay. So the
That's
colon makes it change over.
yeah.
Naming. Got it.
The key for this, the way this is worked out is like the original, and then the value is what you're changing it into.
Okay.
So take a look at this, like the syntax. So you have this rename, right? Like the function here, the new thing here is rename and then this guy, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you have this. Let's just change this guy to like training.df. That's what we changed. And then now here we go. So if you look at this, compare this guy to this guy. Yeah, you had this originally as weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's weight in pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, you always want to compare things. That's why you don't want to just like assume something happened. Member in days.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, member in days, and then membership days. So yeah, it worked. Your code worked. So that's how you do it. Yeah, you just put in dot rename to whatever your data frame is, and then
Rename.
inside that dot rename, you put columns equals a dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah, those. What I usually do to remember these things is like kind of like step by step. You do this, you do that, and then this is why.
Perfect. Okay. Okay.
And again, the reason why you're making it equal something is so that like now this is this guy. You could easily just make this like training again, and then now like everything you overwritten.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Renaming.
How's that one?
You know what? Yeah, it makes sense now that, yeah, we can override, but using the proper um, syntax, if you will.
Yeah.
Um,
I think if you like, how I did it in this guy, where was it? This guy, like I kind of went over like another one, like I
yeah.
did my own thing. Yeah, do that for a lot of these. It does, like it's provided for you, but you can always mess around, play around with them, like, and then try to like make your own thing. What you could do is you could go here and then change some of these labels, right?
Yeah.
And like apply what you did here to this guy. I
Okay.
would do that. Let's just look at like maybe the the lock one. Maybe I don't know if you wanted to go over that one. This one's a little
The
complicated.
last one. I don't think we got to that one.
Oh, you guys didn't get to that one yet?
No, we always run out of time.
Yeah, I
We
know. It was too much. It's too much stuff.
there. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What about this other? Let me see. Let me take a look at this. What about this? I think this summary one. I was taking a look at it, like see if there's like something there that we can talk about.
Sure, sure.
There's Let me see if you already place all that I found in summary. Nah, that one's simple. Oh, there's an iLock here. Okay, that's good. Okay, we
Mm.
talked about this one. Okay. What is it? Remove unnecessary columns. Um,
Title, authors, ratings, remove unnecessary columns. Reduced DF, reduced books.
but he didn't do anything in here though. Remove unnecessary from the data and save the new data frame.
Hmm.
Is there more?
Um,
Okay, this one, like you could technically, this is like filtering. You're just removing unnecessary columns. We talked about that already. So that was like in the beginning here, where you just show like the one you want, right?
yeah, you're just erasing what you don't want and
Yeah,
rerunning. Okay.
that's what he's applying here. Okay, and then renaming. This is again, you've seen this one, right?
The colon, the curly braces, yeah, what you want to reset after you've already set up your base
Yeah.
chart. Okay. Yep.
So he's just repeating his steps. But then this one is good because then there's another one here like a CSV instead of like a custom one. Oh yeah, this one. Do you get this to CSV? This is like a final thing. Like after you're done doing your stuff, you're
So
gonna
you're
publish.
taking the information back and putting it, oh wait, no, you're cleaning. We started going over that too Monday, cleaning databases.
Oh, that one
right?
is just that one is just whatever, like all these stuff, manipulating, filtering, renaming labels. That's cleaning your database. That's all
Okay.
like under that umbrella, cleaning.
And putting it into a new file. Okay.
Yeah, and he just calls it this guy, the modified clean file. Okay, so like how you do that is like, you know how like in the beginning you did read CSV, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like from Excel to Python, right? Reading CSV. To CSV is from Python back to Excel.
To CSV from Python back to Excel.
Yeah, and like let me run this one and then I try to compare it. Restart and run all. Yeah. Okay, so they ran again, and so you know how when you just to explain what the syntax inside means.
So the output of everything that, all the coding that you've done runs back into this Excel file,
Yeah,
encoded into some UTF format with the same headers. So you want all the manipulation you did with the header rows to be inserted, index not to show, I'm guessing, and I don't.
yeah. So I'm gonna show you like why he put this thing right here.
Yeah.
So do you see this first? Like this is the output file.
Oh, okay. So there we are. Okay. So then we have.
Let's close in, but like so like you know like things will change here. I think you're gonna see something change. So these are pretty much all your headers, right? Your labels.
Yep.
Okay. So you know how like you have this index false? Like,
Yeah.
what is index? Like where is that?
The index is the. Oh, the. Okay. Yes,
These guys, right?
the zero based. So it's starting with line 0, but
Yeah.
you don't want to show them.
You could like let's just see what happens if you did that. Oh yeah, you have to have it closed. I forget. There you go. You have to have it closed when you're doing that. So look what happened.
Oh.
Now you
Oh,
have this new guy.
oh, interesting. But then your ISBN numbers change too.
Yeah, like pretty much this is the only like all these index stuff, right? Like this right here. So for the most part, no one really wants to know this one. Like this
Right.
is just Python's way of like of creating that data frame list of indexing it. So that's why people usually put this as false.
Okay.
And I think too bad the default is if you do it, it's not false. I think it's like true. The default is true if you don't put it.
Okay.
So what about this guy?
The header. So you want to. Oh, you want to take out all the header row, or
Okay,
the yeah.
so if we did this on what, let's see what happens. So like you did that, and then let's look at what changed. So now, this there's nothing here now.
Yeah, just the cell content, not the what it's about. Okay.
Yeah. So that one isn't that bad. This one isn't bad. Like it's just outputting it. It makes sense. That's why it's like, oh, okay, true, false, whatever. Like it's self-explanatory when once you see it. This
No,
part right here, this encoding. Do you know what this is?
he started talking about it, and then you could. Um, I got a little lost there because he's like, you could look it up and do this, and I'm like, what am I even looking up?
Okay. I know, I
I don't
know.
even know where to begin with that.
It's like I'll just move on and not talk about it.
Okay.
It's like the excuse. Anyways, I'll explain it to you. It's just one of those like, oh, that's what it is. So like if you take a look at I think my lesson 2, I talk about encodings, decodings. This is what it is. Like you know when do you know Notepad? Notepad like when you're writing like
Yep.
it's like the primitive one. You know you could technically run write all your code in Notepad and just not use anything else like Visual Studio. You know you could technically do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even the CSV file. Let me just show you the CSV file in Notepad. Has your professor showed you that one?
No.
So do you remember the CSV? This is our CSV right now, right? This is the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then so if you open that in Notepad, You're gonna see this instead. This is what you're gonna see.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And then so you know what CSV stands for, right?
Comma,
Separated.
separated
Value.
variable,
Yeah.
value.
Yeah. So like, what is separating these guys? See, like that's why
Yeah.
it's called CSV. That's why I was like at first like, what the heck is CSV? You know, like when I first like, because it could be anything. You can if you take a look at, I'll show you another thing. So like this makes sense. In Excel, it doesn't show you that, obviously. It doesn't show you that it's comma separated. Like just every comma would then be a cell after, like every like portion. So all of these, like, it's a cell in Excel. But in actuality, this is what Python reads. It reads this guy, not that Excel. Like that's why it creates a list, and they're all strings. Remember, we had to like in order to do a calculation, we had to do something. These are all strings right now. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about this UTF for because in here you have to also do that. Like, when you're doing the read CSV from Excel to like Python. The reason why you do this is like sometimes if you don't do this, let's just see what happens if you don't do it. What if we didn't do this guy? Oh, nothing happened. Everything's good, right? Nothing happened really.
Yeah, it looks.
Still ran.
Well, yeah, it did kind of change the formulations of the ISBN 13, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. It still runs. What I usually do is like this UTF is like the default here. Like that notepad I just ran or like I opened. I'm gonna show you this thing. So this is a CSV notepad, and then when you save, when you look over here.
Oh yeah. Oh.
If it's not UTF-8, you could save it as UTF-8 by just doing a save as. This is CSV, and then you change this encoding right here.
Oh, okay.
Now it's UTF-8. For the most part, if it's clean, it's UTF-8. It could be any of these other ones. Like for me, for default, if I don't have it as a UTF-8, I save as it as a UTF-8. I open the CSV that's given to me as a notepad, and then I save as it as a UTF-8. So that there's like no error,
Okay. Okay.
For the most part, you don't have to run through all of this. But when you do have an error, then at least like, oh crap, no, that's why. So now you understand a little bit, like, oh, that's where the UTF-8 is referring to.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Especially when you're taking it back into a CSV file. Okay. Yeah. You want to code it. Gotcha. Okay.
Let me just take a look at this one. I guess let me see. Like, so there's this one. Because this is a summary. Let me because like I think it'd be helpful if you had a bit of, because we talked about unique, right? We already talked about unique. Min and max, those are just the stats, right?
Yeah.
And then this is just them like wanting to put it in a variable. But then this right here is like, what is this doing?
Place all the data found in the summary. So counting, well, a summary, so not listing out the details, just a summarization of all the data you're requesting. So
okay.
Looks like.
So this one, I guess let me because this will be important. You know how like you wanted to create, maybe do you remember looking back at the Pi Bank, I think Pi Bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, does this look kind of familiar? Len or something?
Yeah, the length of that.
Which is this guy, right?
Yeah.
Like right here. So like you're gonna be seeing this a lot. Like just so like when someone asks you, I want you guys to give me the total number of months, total number of authors, whatever it may be. Like and then I want you guys to create a summary table, which is this guy, right? Then you can just do this, like you know how to count it with len, yes, and then you could actually use unique, right? You can actually, because if they ask you for a total unique, or you can just not use unique and then just count it. This one asks you for the unique authors. So I would do that. That's one way if someone were to ask that. And then
Okay.
like put those in. The way you create the summary is after you filter your data. This is filtering the data, right? You filter the data because of this guy. You
Yep.
remember doing that? Like
Yeah.
we took Goodreads data frame, right? This is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
What is this doing? It's only showing what?
It's showing just the unique authors with unique names. So maybe these authors wrote multiple books. So it's
Yep.
just grabbing them once.
Okay. Yeah. So this is what it's doing. It's filtering data frame, the authors into like just one time it shows up. And then that is a list, right? That's a list of authors that are unique, right?
Yep. Yep.
So then you can apply len because len is just the taking every element of that list and then enumerating it. Like I want to know the length of that list. But this is the length of that list is that's like coding language. The length of the list. What does that mean in like layman's terms? the,
Uh,
the,
yeah, isn't it just, is it um, to allow for the full length of the name to show? I mean, is it purely just a with column thing?
yeah. So every time someone wants to know like the number of like something, you always want to do len because it just counts but what you want, the hardest part is figuring out how can I filter my data frame. For example, what if someone asks you, I want to know the number of unique publication year, right? Someone could ask you that one, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we can like mess with this, like unique public year. So I'll probably change this one to like publication year, publication, and let's see. And then this one you gotta update. So look at that one. It changed, right?
Publication, but that is actually the total unique author is the publication year now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, I want to clean it up.
You don't have to. Yeah, but that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's how you do that. Like, what if someone were to ask you? This is what I would do. Like, I wouldn't just like read this and then conceptually take it in.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. You have to like get in there and get your feet wet every single step of the
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
Okay,
No, it's good.
let me just explain this last one. So you know how this iLock, this iLock right here is one of the good ones. We'll cover this more once I give you my lesson 5. And it's gonna be pandas and data frames, all of this, but like better language.
Okay.
So you know how when would you use an iLock? So there's lock, there's iLock, there's even index. And let's just see what this is doing. Calculate the total reviews for the entire data set, right? Total reviews. What is that? It's one.
So you're counting all the 1 through 5-star reviews, the total number. Okay.
Okay. Yep. And then, so what in like conceptually, like what do I want to do? I want to ignore these guys, right?
Yeah.
I just want these guys, these columns.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, so what I would do is create another column. So this is creating another column, right? Total reviews is the label.
Okay.
And then inside that column, I wanna filter. I wanna filter my data frame so that it only shows these guys.
Okay.
The 1-star 5-star. How I do that is using iLock, index lock. It's like a way for you to filter 2D. Like like a set of, instead of like filtering by column, you're filtering by indexing. So these are index like inside the data frame. Let me just explain what that means. So once you apply like your data frame, you say dot iLock.
Mm-hmm.
What you put inside these brackets is what is this right here? It's colon. You know what
Colon your It was the no wait. It was the key to the left and the value to the right of the colon. Is that
Okay,
right? Or is that completely different setup?
that's a dictionary. That's totally
Okay.
different.
Obviously missed the point on this column.
There's
Okay.
no dictionary. For this one, remember, I really want, like, if you can take a look at the lesson two, I technically explain everything there. Like, if you
Okay.
read through it, if you when you do this, like, this is slicing, right? Like, this is technically a list, right? This is a list,
Uh-huh.
and then within that list, I wanna, so this thing right here on the left of the comma, right here
Mm-hmm.
is like the row. It's the row number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then so I could easily just give it a number, right? I could easily just give it like 3. So like 3 would be 0, 1, 2, 3. It would just be this guy. Let's see what happens, yeah.
Would it be row 2 though, because you're zero base?
Like if I wanted to do like 0, 1, 2, 3, it would be this guy.
Oh, okay.
Like what this is pretty much the index of these guys.
Okay.
So 3 right here. But let's see what happens. Like, and then let me, before we do it, let me explain what's on the right of the comma. So this is the row number, right?
Mm-hmm.
The left of the comma. And then what's on the right of the comma? What do you think would make sense?
Well, I would think it would need the colon or column.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Yeah. So this is the left is the row, and then the right is the column. So let's see what that means. Like, remember we said, what are we trying to do here? Like, I wanted to enumerate the total number of reviews, right?
Yeah.
So as we said, I wanted to like not include these guys. I just wanted to do these guys, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
saying 4 though, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this though? 4 colon. What the heck is that?
4 to, I
4 to
guess,
everything.
the
4 to
rest
the,
of it,
4 to the
everything
end.
else.
So like when you could have done this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think you could have done 9. Usually no one does this because like that it's very complicated. Like what you put on the left, when you start it, it's the number. It includes it, right? But when you put it at the end, it's the next one that you don't include. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You put 9 here. But instead of doing that, what if you have like 100 columns? You don't want to like put in a big. You could just do this because like the ending here is reviews. There's nothing else in here, right?
Right.
The end column is like reviews. You want 1-star review all the way to the end of the data frame, right?
Yes. Yes.
The only thing that matters where you want to like index is this 4 because everything the moment you put in like a colon and then you don't put a number in there, it's like from this point all the way to the end. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Yeah.
Okay. If you did this guy right here, like you could have done like 3 to the end as well. You could have done 3 to the end. But the reason why they put like this guy, like no number, is everything from the beginning and everything to the end. If you don't put a number to the left, it's everything to the beginning, and then no number to the right, everything to the end.
Okay.
If you put a number, it only includes it up to that number, so like 4. If you don't put a number, it's everything to the end. That's kind of like a rule. Like if you don't put a number, in any of these, it's to the beginning of the row, and to the end of the row.
Okay.
So like, okay, that's what it's doing. Maybe we can see what's happening. Let's see if I can put in another one here. Let's just see what happens. Good reads. It's hard to see if we're just talking about it, right? Like, well, what the heck? We're not, because this pretty much like says everything already. Like, like someone took like a code and copied it from someone and put it in.
Right. Yeah.
There was like, I don't know what happened here, man. Like, tell me. Yeah. So let's see if this works. So So look at it. Like I'm trying to test what this happens. This is usually what you do. You have to test every bit and piece of your code. So we were just talking about it, right? Let me just do this first, what it shows, and let's mess around with it. So what did I say? Everything from the beginning of the row to the end. There's like, I don't know how many. There's like a lot here. This is the end of it. 10,000. Okay. And then the right of the comma is the columns, right?
Yep.
This guy. All the way to, and let's see, what if I put like random numbers? I'm just gonna put random numbers. You know, whatever.
Uh-oh.
Oh, look, like this one just gives me something here.
Oh, check that out. Okay.
So, you know, like if you did that, this is like a coordinate, you know, like X, Y, Z, and like X and Y, right? This
Yeah.
one here is like your row, like I guess it's your X. And then this right here is your column, is it's like your Y, right? You're going vertical. So that's how I see this. This is like putting on like a coordinate. So you're going from like, let me see, you're going from this guy, 1 to 2, right? It's between these guys. Let's try to locate where this is. 1, and then you said 2 to 3. 0, 1, all right. 0, 1, 2, 3, right? 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. It looks like it's this guy right here. Right?
Yeah.
It's this.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what it is. You're trying to locate 1 if you did this. If you did only like this, let's try experimenting what this does. So you did 1, right? From 1, which is this guy. You started at 1, right?
1. Yep.
It starts at 1. First row.
Mm-hmm.
And then you didn't put a number to the right of the colon for the row, right? You didn't put a number, right?
Right.
So it's everything to the end.
Okay.
What if I put like 5? So it's, see, it's the, like I said, it's very easy to know like what this on the left of the colon is. It includes it, right?
Yeah.
These are like the small rules. I want you like maybe write these.
I'm writing. Yeah.
For iLock, the right of the left, the right of the left, the left of the comma is the row, right? The row. And then the right of the comma is indexing the column. That's one concept. The other concept is, what do I put on the left and right? What do I put?
Yeah.
So talking about the row first, the left of the comma, what do you put in the left of the comma, the row? You put colons, you know, indexing. These are indexes. Like what we're doing, it's like a range of things. So on the left of the column of the row, whatever's on the left, it includes it. 1 is here, right? What about this guy on the right of the column? The right of the column, colon, the right of the colon of the row. Yeah, the tongue twister. So you see this one? 1 is included, but the right of the colon is not included, right? It's 4.
4. And so, like you said, with the columns, you needed to include, you wanted, basically it gave you the 4 rows instead of the 5.
The column, the rows one isn't as hard because it gives you the index,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to like do the enumeration 0, 1, 2, 3. You know, it's like this one gives it to you. But at the left of the colon, it's always included. So what, for example, like this is just arbitrary. Whatever I put on the right of the colon, it's not included. If I wanted to include 5, so this is going from 1 to 4, right? If I want to include 5, I would go to 6. See, 5 shows up. Yeah, this will matter once you really do, like, you know, dig deeply to this. And right now it's like, well, I don't really care.
Well, no, it's like, it's enclosing, it's encompassing your information, right? It's like,
Yeah, it's very consistent though. Like with these data frames, like it's not just only here. Every time you use a range, this is called a range. It's like when you have like a number colon and another number, it's a range.
okay.
When you do this range in data frames, the one on the left of it is always included, but then the one on the right is not. So you always add 1 more. If you want to include like that, like number 5, you add 1 more to 5. So that's why you go to 6.
Okay.
What about this guy? Okay, I want you to tell me for column. I guess this is like kind of like a quiz.
So
Oh,
it's
that's a
looking,
row, right?
yeah.
Let me ask you the question first. I want to only show, let me see, what is it? 0, 1, 2. I want you to show me publication year up to authors. What would I put in the right of here?
Publication year up to authors. So I would put,
What's on the left and then what's on the right? With a colon.
so publication year and starting at 0. Can I
It
start
always
it?
starts at 0, yeah. 0 is right here.
Yeah. Oh, I already did the rows though, so that's fine. So then the column, publication to authors, I would put 2 colon,
Is it 2? This one was 2. It started here. This is 2.
that's 2. Are we looking at columns or rows?
Columns, like 0. 0 is ISBN.
Oh, even on the call. Okay, okay. 1, 2. So original titles. So start at 2.
Yeah, so from publication year to authors, what would I
So
put?
1. We start at 1,
Good, okay.
and then 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Then 4. So you can include authors.
Yep, okay, that's good, yeah. Let's see. There you go, that's good.
Okay. Jeez, I might need to practice that one.
Yeah, this one is like one of those things, like you gotta like, it's not bad, but like you gotta, it's like those small things, and that's really a code thing, you know? Like
Yeah.
coding is, it's not, there's no math, there's no concept, it's just the how, which is like the small rules you have to do.
Practice for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's,
Okay.
oh yeah, and so that's what that is, that's this first part, right? The iLock.
Okay.
But then what is this other part doing?
Summing every, so you're really summing, not just, you're summing the rows and the columns
Oh
with
yeah, yeah.
that
Let
data.
me go back to what is our original range. Our original range was this guy, right? This is what we're
Yeah.
doing.
So
So
yeah.
what is this dot sum? So dot sum is taking all of these guys. And this is that guy, right? This is this guy right here, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you took all these, like from this guy all the way to 5-star, and then
Mm-hmm.
added all these guys, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if that, just to check if that's actually true. Let's check the first one. Like, I mean, you could easily just add these guys. This is how I'd usually check it, because it's just a calculator. Zero. Four, 9, 2, okay. Did he add all of that?
Oh,
Let me see, that didn't come out to the right answer. How did they add that one?
sum of the X.
Because this is supposed to be the sum of each row, right?
Right, right.
But like once you add this guy
Mm-hmm.
to this guy, you get that. This doesn't match this guy,
No, so
right?
axis is not rows and columns. It's just that row, whatever you've
Yeah, it's just this row right here. Each
row.
row.
7,
So
5.
how come it's not the right? Let me look at the numbers. 1, 2, 7, 9, 3, 6, 1, 2, 6, 8, 1, 3, 0, 5. Yeah, what is?
It looks right. That, I mean, you typed in the exact numbers.
Yeah, this is how you check. What is? That seems weird. Let me type in the last one. Because that's what it's supposed to do. That's why he wants, like, that's why he used that one. This one's 9,700 and this is 19,400. Why is that? Let me just check. It seems like you're adding. Okay, I see it now. I see it. So
he multiplied by, but I don't see the code for that.
okay, I see it. Like, so he added all of this. So like, it's because it's already there. It's already changed. It's already like the way this is, like, if you look at, because now this should be, if you did 10 there, 10 or 9. Let's look at 9. There you go. That makes more sense. So like this one matches now. So like if you take a look at the last one right here, this is the same as this guy now, which is like this guy, right?
Oh yeah.
So like if you add these guys, you get 9,700, right? And then if you did the sum of axis equals 1. So just to explain, axis equals 1 means it's row. 1 means row. Add rows.
Okay.
If you did like 0, if you did 0 here, it's add the columns.
Oh, okay.
But in this case, if you wanted to do that, you could do that. But it wouldn't make sense because like you want the total reviews.
Right.
Total 1-star review. Like your label has to match your calculation, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, that's why I wanted to go over it, because like the reason why he's saying axis equals 1 is you're adding horizontally, like through the row. If you make it 0, you're adding vertically through the column.
Okay.
And yeah, does that kind of make sense though? And then like the reason why we have like this discrepancy here is because he made this equal this guy, but it's already changed. It's already changed. Like if I did this right here, this is pretty much adding everything in here, right?
Yeah.
But he made this like equal good total reviews before it was changed. It's just one of those things. You're gonna have to mess around with it, and that's the reason why this being added and this. You should only be adding all these 5 things here.
Okay, gotcha.
This guy equal like to this guy. That's why you have to like check what's happening, and then you'll know what happened. so that next time, like, oh, okay, I won't make that. Like, I know how to range it. It's gonna be a back and forth between like, okay, let me take a look at what this guy looks like. Let me know, let me change some of these, and then once this is right, once this is right, then you apply this guy. Then once all this is right, then you make it equal this guy.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, I think does this one so that one makes sense. What about this one? Like what he did here?
All of the data found in the summary. So it's just creating a summary of all the data that we've kind of parsed out over each of the sections to.
And then it's a dictionary. You know why?
With the curly braces, and you have the key on the left, value on the right.
Okay, so like the reason why you want to do this is it's another like you're gonna be using dictionaries a lot with Dataframe. It's like something that you just have to like, okay, you're gonna see it multiple times, and then how you apply it. You understand how we applied it for changing the column names, right?
For changing the column?
Yeah, like what we did here.
Yeah, yes, we've listed out for the
And
header.
then we had to put rename though, dot rename, and then inside that dot rename we put columns equal.
Right.
And then you do that before you put in the dictionary.
Okay.
Or for that one, for this one, it's PD data frame, which is what you're trying to do. Like it's pretty much the same thing as how you you're gonna create because why do you do PD data frame? Because you're creating a new summary table.
Summary table that you want within the framework of your of your, well, all of the data that you're creating and parsing out.
Okay. Yeah. So every time you want to create like, because a new summary, a new table, anything, and because you have this as your main raw table, and then now I want to create a summary table. You always do this pd.dataframe anytime you do a new table of anything. And then like what you put in there, it was easy to understand when you already have it made.
Yeah. True.
But if you think about it, this is exactly the same, right? Take a look at this guy. Like, it's just a different application. You see this, and then do you remember taking a look at, here we go, using your own like data and creating a data frame, like a table. Take a look at this guy. It's the same, right? Like pd.data frame.
Yeah, creating your own.
You have a dictionary here.
Yeah.
Everything on the left was what?
The key.
What does the key tell you for a data frame?
It's the header rows, where you want the information contained.
Okay, and let's go back to this one. What is the same, right?
It's the same, yeah.
Okay, but then let's look back to that guy again. What was the values? The right of the column. What does that define?
The variables, the values, the cell contents.
For each column, for each column it's the rows, right? For each column label it's the rows, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see if that's the same here. So like with that, you define that as a bracket, right? That's like how you do it. There's a bracket. And then for this one though, you had multiple things, right? You had multiple rows. So that makes sense. You had multiple things inside. This one, you only have one thing in here, right?
Now, yes. Gotcha. Okay.
And then you're probably like, why do you need this bracket? And this one there's no bracket in this thing.
Exactly.
So why don't we test it out? Like, what if we take out, see, like sometimes the questions can be answered by just like checking it out. Oh, look, something happened.
Of course. Because you're counting, it's a function. Is that right?
Let me see what the error is first. So if using all scalar, you must pass an index. It's a value error. Okay. So, and let's take a look at like, what if we put this inside like a bracket? Will that work? So that one works. You could put it inside a bracket, right?
Oh.
See, like it's just those things. What I usually do is so that I don't have to memorize a lot of things is I try to find things that match between like different things, associate them, like why don't we just remembering putting brackets and not putting brackets? It's just too complicated,
Yeah.
Just why don't we like do something that works every time? So,
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's see if this one works. Oh, look, it works, right? This one works.
Oh.
And if you take a look at like here, we did that. All of them had brackets.
Oh, yeah.
So if in my mind, just do this.
Okay.
For sometimes, yeah, it does work without it. Let me try to explain why. So let me see. Man, see, like, which one was that? Author count. This right here. Let me just output that. Let's see what is it? It's a number. This other guy is also a number. Let's see what the data or a type of data type. There you go. Type. What is this? It's an int. What about this guy? It's a float. Yeah. But why does that matter? Both a number. Why can't you?
Yeah. Is it because within that formula, it's actually doing a full count of the data?
Yeah, because of this is an array, right? Is what you're saying? It's like an array. It's doing a count here.
It's actually, it's parsing out the information for multiple areas to get to that number, whereas it seems like the other one,
this guy,
you're just grabbing, you've already done it, you've grabbed, and you're just recapturing.
Yeah, because this one is like pretty much, but then this dot min is the same as this len thing. It's a function, like this dot min is taking It's like it's going through these guys and seeing what number is the minimum, which is just a scalar. It's a value.
Mhm.
This one is going through that entire list and adding each individual one, which at the end, like, you know, but the after like overall, like the result of this will obviously be a number, right? We know that it's a number.
Yeah.
But the way it's being operated, it's like it's a lot of numbers. This one is just one number. I don't know. Like I would say, yeah, like it's just one of those things. Like once you check it, it doesn't make sense why you have to put this bracket.
You just do it. After a while, you just learn to do it. Okay.
But yeah, like what does work every time though is just put the bracket. Don't not put a bracket,
Okay.
because then you can avoid the errors.
Okay. Brackets everywhere. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so like that's pretty much like a whirlwind of like good thing we touched on iLock, because that one is definitely a very useful one. I guess for the next ones, what did you want to cover for the next one?
For the next tutorial, um, I'll have my homework tomorrow.
Okay.
So it'll definitely be more pandas. I'm sure since it's always a challenge assignment, it'll be what we covered with
Okay.
the iLocks and the, what else did we cover? Um, Filtering, group by function, sorting, conditional statements, um, and um, and then whatever we learned tonight. So it'll encompass those two in the challenge format. So I'll get you tonight's lessons and then homework. I'll get both of those to you tomorrow. So there will
Okay.
be a couple of themes running those. So I'm sure the iLock for sure,
Okay. Yeah.
and creating
Hopefully, yeah.
tables.
I think we covered like half of it, which is good. Hopefully, it's not the next half.
Yeah. You never know with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like always like, well, we haven't covered it, but Google it. It's like,
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you could. Don't worry. This stuff isn't bad. Yeah, like once you get that to me, I'll do my best to get a solution, and we'll just do the same thing. You can refer back to it and like kind of build it. The sooner we get that, then the more practice I can give you. You know.
yeah, that'd be great. And we can just continue to work on, if we want to work on um, your lessons over
Yeah,
these,
that'll
and
be
then
good.
that way, and then supplement it with say, hey, if I get stuck, which I'll get stuck on a lot of them, but we'll override it with your lessons first. And then,
Okay.
if there's a really challenging one that that
Yeah.
I'll definitely need help on, then we can supplement it with one of the instructor lessons. But I'd rather go off of yours because I'm
Okay.
sure it's a lot more um, layman's terms
Yeah.
and
I try to do it that way.
yeah.
Yeah. No, like this is good. It's kind of like the same as mine. It's just like you need more words to explain it, because like if you just give someone this, it's more like a teacher is doing this, because like there's things they're like omitting, and obviously they know that.
Right,
But
right.
for the student, to give this to the student, it's very deadly. So that's why I try to like put in as you can see, like you've seen my lesson one, there's like explanation. I'll do the same thing for the data frame and pandas lesson 5.
Okay,
I'm gonna do my best to get that to you before Friday.
okay, okay.
And then we'll go over that, and then maybe lesson 2. Yeah, try to if you have time. I know, like lesson. If you were to pick any of those, just do lesson. Did you finish lesson 1?
I finished lesson 1. I didn't get to lesson 2. I got caught up in some work stuff, so I can go through lesson 2
Okay.
tomorrow, and then maybe lesson 3 unless I need to go.
Yeah, two is the one that really is very like fundamental in terms of like like the range, like the colon. What do you put on the left, right? And
Gotcha.
then messing, because a lot of this is just the next step. You learn like the 1D arrays, which is just the built-in Python lists,
Okay.
and then like the pandas is just taking that and building it in 2D, like into a table.
Okay.
So if you learn that one, then it's easier for you to do this now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
That would be key.
yeah. Because then I talk about dictionaries. I talk about why you do certain things. Yeah, like you could just pretty much go to the examples and it'll explain it too. Yeah, like and then let's try to do lesson like for me I'm gonna do lesson 5 for you, and the I guess your homework solution I'll do that.
Okay.
And yeah, just like let me know if there's other things. I know there'll be other things. This is just a bunch of things to like it seems like we're always gonna be like not catching up, you know?
I think for this class, it's going to be one of those where I'm running to catch up, but I'm hoping that, I catch up and then we can kind of be on the same
Yeah.
week as the lessons, but, I'll try. I'm doing what I can. But, the homework is always a week behind too. So
Yeah.
that's the thing
Yeah.
too. And
When does it get corrected? Like when do you find out if you got it right?
They usually it's a week turnaround. So actually for VBA and for God, what was the first one? The trauma. I forget.
Bomber? What?
Forget.
It sounds like a very bad. What is that? Is that a coder?
Yeah, exactly.
Traumatic coder.
Traumatic coder. I can't remember what my homework was because I was traumatized. Yeah, I got A pluses in the 2
That's
assignments.
awesome.
So, I think and I was very clear. I said, I needed a lot of help. I had to, a variety of, especially with the VBA,
Yeah.
like I was stuck and like, I don't know this. And they're
Hopefully in
like,
the end, like I'm thinking about this too. Like hopefully there's no final where he combines VBA, Python, and Java. You know,
no.
do it all at once. Because that's really for if I were like yeah, that would be brutal. But it is one of those things where can you find the generality and like code something 3 times, 3 different programs. You know,
Oh my God, please.
because you can do all these things in all of those 3, except like Python is the way to go. You know, you just have that's the thing. Like I'm teaching this other one, this other lady, the Java. You know, like
Oh,
we'll get to it, which is good. And then I
yeah.
was telling her, it's like she was freaking out because like it's so hard. And she's like, I thought like the class was supposed to be in Python, but my professor just like totally blew us out and said, "Oh, I don't like Python to be. No, I'm not gonna use Python. We're gonna use Java."
Oh, no,
So I was
no.
like, it's like, "Oh, you're gonna do data science for a good while. You should learn Python." But if you learn Java first, then learning Python will be easier. If it's the other way, it's harder outside.
Wow.
Yeah. So for us, you know, it's good because we get like 3 different things, you know, in one class.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it'll, I think Java's a ways away, I think near December. And so I think that it'll give me time to soak this in, and we'll have one team project under our belt in October. So
Okay.
that'll involve definitely mostly Python, I'm assuming, and probably Matplot, lib, whatever. And
Okay, that's the next one. Yeah, that's good to keep in mind. I have a like a lesson on that already. It's not as hard as Pandas. I can tell you
oh, that's good.
that. Yeah, Pandas is I mean it's one of those things like it has so much commands, which is very useful. But Matplotlib, just to preview you, you know how all of these things are like static, not static, but like just numerics, right? Like numeric.
Yeah.
Like Matplotlib takes all of these and visualize it to like a graph.
Oh,
Obviously, plotting
okay.
Matplotlib, you know.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and then like you'll like it because like for me to look at this, it's good. Other people they like something more visual. It's like oh now the behavior, you know, of like these things, the pattern you can see it from a graph. And plus, in the end, you want to work towards giving someone pretty pictures, right? Your client.
That's true. That's true. People are very visual, and a lot of numbers scare people. So getting them to the point where it's an
The
easy way.
numbers are for the coder. The
Yeah,
client wants the pictures.
exactly. Send me the pretty pictures. Exactly. So
Okay. All right. Sorry. I think we went overboard, but like I think this is good.
yeah, no, thank you for that, and it helps me reground, and prepare for class tonight. So it'll be good. So
Okay.
I'll prepare tomorrow. I'll send you everything that I get, and we'll be ready. I'll set up. if I don't remember tonight, tomorrow I'll set up another session for us for this week.
Yeah, Friday for me. I think if you're good with Friday, I'm good.
Yeah, Friday afternoons seem to be pretty good for me.
Oh yeah,
So
for that one, are you okay? I don't know. Do you have class on Friday, like at night, like after 6:30?
no, I have class Saturday from 10 to 2.
Okay, because like I'll be busy on this one. This is only this Friday. Actually, no, I'll be in the next couple. Is it okay if we do it after 6:30?
That's not a problem. That's not a problem. If you um yeah, I'm COVID bound, so
I know.
it's not like I'm
For
doing it.
Friday, yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
for now, yeah. Let's it's obviously yeah. Because like with this week, I'm only free because I have a 5 to 6:30. But then from starting this week, I won't be free Friday 9 to 5. But then
Okay.
I have an appointment from 5 to 6:30, so that's why it's like, for the next one we can start at 5. Is what I'm saying for the next week. Yeah.
Well, if we want to start at 7, give you like a moment to breathe and that's honestly, I get it. I get it. It's like going from one meeting to another. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, it's fine. Like yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, like for me, either seven's fine. 30 minutes.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. And I'll just set it up for an hour, hour and a half, depending on how good I feel. And then, probably an hour and a half
Yeah.
for to review the homework
Yeah.
and the next set of lessons. And then we'll proceed from there, the Monday or Tuesday that works for us.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, Fridays and then other days. But for sure, Fridays are good. Just I think I'm thinking now because the other appointment I have is another code, so
Oh,
it's
you
gonna be
want to read. Yeah, I get it. You
during
need
the
to.
weekend, with coding. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah. I sorry. Yeah, that was good, and see you on Friday.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. Cool.
Okay.